Now, the royal family have put on a united front as the Queen's children and grandchildren mourn and pay tribute to her service.
Yeah, it's seen Prince Harry and William, of course, walk side by side in the procession to Westminster Hall, just days after they publicly reunited at Windsor Castle. And many are hoping this is the first sign of the rift being healed.
Yeah, for more, we're joined by royal commentator Victoria Arbiter. This is taking up so much space in newspapers. Yeah. Victoria, is this the breakthrough in the brothers' relationships? What are you hearing?
Well, today is Prince Harry's birthday, his 38th birthday, and he won't have spent much time with his family. King Charles is up at Highgrove, where he's attending to state matters, having a little bit of a respite as well. William and Kate up in Sandringham, as Eddie showed you. So there's not been the kind of private, personal family together time. But we have learned that the other night at Buckingham Palace, William, Kate, Harry and Meghan did all stay for an extended dinner, so the whole family gathered at Buckingham Palace shortly after the Queen had arrived at Buckingham Palace. Does this heal long-term quarrels? I think it's too soon to say. So much is going to depend on what happens when Harry and Meghan return to California, whether or not Harry's book comes out. There's been talk that it has been delayed from this year till next year. I think so many private conversations have to happen within this family in order for these wounds to begin to heal, and this simply isn't the time to be having those conversations. Having said that, there's nothing like a family tragedy to reset perspective and make everybody reassess what matters in life.
What about with Charles in charge now? How will that change the family dynamic, do you think?
I don't think it's going to change things too much. Now, Koshi and I were talking before the show, and I said with the royal family, when in doubt, they defer to how things have been done before. And Harry and Meghan's deal, post-royal family, was sorted out by the Queen. And whatever she put in place is going to be maintained. So I certainly think there's going to be a desire for the frost to thaw and for relations to be much, much better. But it's, again, so much is going to depend on what Harry and Meghan choose to do with their lives once they're in California and whether or not they're going to stop sharing their grumbles.
Okay. So Harry and Meghan have said they want to split from the royals, but they want their children to be known as Prince and Princess and HRH. Now, Charles has said no to that. Explain the difference between Prince and Princess and having HRH on top of that.
I'm so glad you raised this, Koshi, because again, this is something that is taking up acres of newspaper inches. So we have to go back to 1917. I'll try not to be too geeky with this, but George V, in an effort to streamline the monarchy, he issued letters patent that said, children of the sovereign, grandchildren of the sovereign in the male line, and the eldest son of the eldest son of the Prince of Wales, eligible for HRH, which is a style, and the title Prince or Princess. That's why Harry's children didn't qualify when the Queen was on the throne. Now that Charles is on the throne, because those grandchildren are on the male line, technically they qualify for the HRH and the Prince or Princess. But when Harry and Meghan left the royal family, the Queen determined that they couldn't use their HRH style. So it makes sense, therefore, that the children wouldn't use an HRH style. It'd be a bit odd if their parents couldn't use it, but they could, bearing in mind they are age 1 and 3 years old as well. The Prince or Princess, yes, technically, now their grandfather is the king, they are entitled to use those titles, but they live overseas. I think Charles is very aware that America is not a Commonwealth realm, it's not even a member of the Commonwealth of Nations. I think, again, they're going to be anxious about any kind of commercialisation of the royal family.
So you can be a prince or a princess without being an HRH?
Yes.
What is the HRH? What's the difference? What does that add to it?
Well, it does, I mean, does it all go together? Yes, technically it does, but the HRH is the style, his or her Royal Highness. Harry is a blood-born prince. By marriage, his wife is a princess. They are still prince and princess. That is not going anywhere. They simply can't use their HRH style.
So as we say, His Royal Highness Prince Harry, the kids will be just Prince Archie.
Well, according to the royal website at the moment, they recently updated the succession list, and Archie was listed as Master Archie Harrison, Mountbatten Windsor, and Lilibet was there as Miss. So I think these are all things that Buckingham Palace are even scratching their heads over, and these are things that down the line. I think it's pretty low on the King's to-do list, but it needs to be sorted
And
out.
why would
Okay.
Harry and Meghan, they left, why would they care about this? That's what I don't get.
Hang on.
Well, and
Hang on.
also-
Every American loves a prince or a princess.
Yeah, but these two-
These two little kids would be set for life if they could be referred to as prince and princess
But
in
would
America.
they? Do you really
Oh.
think that would make a
I
difference,
reckon the
Victoria?
money would
No,
pour
they
in.
live
Because
in the
these two
US.
left though, and so why would they care whether their kids?
I don't know whether Harry and Meghan will ultimately care. You may remember a couple of years ago, maybe not even quite that long ago, Meghan had a conversation with Gloria Steinem in which she said she liked being linked, not ranked.
Yes.
That speaks to sort of how the her American philosophy is towards titles. At the same time, gosh, she's right. There's a lot to be said for princes and princesses in the US. They love this stuff. So.
Yep.
If they're entitled to it and it should be their titles, then sure, okay. But I think Charles is going to want to be very careful that there can't be any commercialisation of those titles.
And how would you ever guarantee that with those two? That's interesting.
It's just fascinating, isn't
isn't
it?
it?
All right, Victoria,
Thank
thank
you.
you.